Now, finally, I'm done with all my tests at school, done with all my finals. So, I have free time, and I'm on winter break now. I got about 3 weeks of break where I don't have school, so I'm going to try and make some videos during that time and really study hard with languages. I promised I'd keep you guys updated with my Chinese class, so here's another update with the semester being over. And 中文课, that means Chinese class. And so I was going to show you the textbook we've been using, what type of stuff is in it, and show you some of the homework assignments that I've gotten. So, we'll start with the textbook. 中文天地. That's the name of the textbook in Chinese. So Chinese link is the English title. And it's okay. I mean, for the price of this book, you could have got like a Teach Yourself Chinese and phrase book and a dictionary. So, when it comes to money-wise, I would never buy this book on my own. When it comes to the content inside, it's more phrase bookish, I guess you could say, than actual, like, learning stuff, if that makes sense. It's phrase bookish, and it's not based on what you can really utilize right away. It's based on grammar, on structures, and slowly implementing new grammatical structures on you is kind of how this book goes. And like I said, it's phrase book kind of style to the book, and it doesn't really have that much useful stuff in it. But that's, I guess, just my opinion. What I might find useful, other people won't. But so it starts out, the first thing in every chapter has like a vocab list of different words. Like, I'll read you a part of the vocab list. Be 哪, which, 国, country, 人, person, 很, very, 对了, by the way, a phrase used to start a new topic. 法国, France, 美国, United States, 英国, Britain, 中国, China, 说, speak, 会, can, be able to, know how to, like a learned ability, 一点儿, a little, 法文, French language, 和, and, 德国, Germany, 韩国, Korea, 加拿大, Canada, 墨西哥, Mexico, 日本, Japan, 西班牙, Spain, 语言, language. So that's like the vocabulary list for this chapter. And then it's usually each chapter starts out with a dialogue or two. They're really kind of cheesy, short dialogues. I guess you find that in most language books. But they work, they help, and their website has like audio and video of the dialogues. So that's pretty helpful. That's one thing I liked about this class so far. But then the rest of the chapter basically is grammar. And then at the end you kind of have a review or like a supplementary practice, and it's a green box. You can see it there, a green box, and it's got Chinese characters on it, and you're supposed to read the characters, and be able to recognize them and read them properly and then understand what it means. So I'll read you this paragraph and then translate it. So, 我是美国人，我会说英文和法文，我也会说一点中文。他是我的中文老师，我的老师很好，他是中国人，他说中文，他也会说一点英文。对了，你呢？请问你是哪国人？你会说什么语言？你会说中文吗？ That's the dialogue. So you have 我是美国人 I'm American. 我会说英文和法文 I speak English and French. 我也会说一点中文 I also speak a little Chinese. 他是我的中文老师 He is my Chinese teacher. 我的老师很好 My Chinese teacher is very good. 他是中国人 He is Chinese. 他说中文 He speaks Chinese. 他也说一点英文 He also speaks a little bit of English. 对了，你呢？对了 is a by the way, which was that phrase to just start a new topic. Just if you got something random to say and you don't really have anything to lead into it, you just say 对了 and then you go da 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 da. So 对了，你呢？ Well, by the way, and you? It sounds funny in English, but that's what they say in Chinese. There you go. 请问你是哪国人? May I ask, what nationality are you? 你会说什么语言? What language can you speak? Or what languages can you speak? 你会说中文吗? Can you speak Chinese? So that's an example of basically that's like everything from that chapter, all the important stuff. So yeah, and there's even a chapter on telephones, family, it's kind of got random stuff. But that's basically how the textbook works. And you guys know I've been studying Chinese even before I took this class. So really with this class, like the part I just read, I knew even before I took the class. So like I'd say about maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the book is stuff I already knew. And then some at the end, like the telephone conversation, and there's a part where it's making plans and different stuff like that. Addresses. There's a chapter on addresses. Some stuff that I didn't know. But I mean, the class has been really easy, but sometimes I get really overwhelmed with the homework because I don't know, it's just kind of, for me it's hard to do. I'll show you what the homework's like. Here is one packet. We get packets like these, and they're characters, and you have to write them a whole bunch of times, over and over and over. And for me, that's probably the hardest part of the whole class. Not that it's difficult, but it's super time consuming. I mean, we get one of these packets is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages full of characters. And not only are you learning the simplified version, but you're also learning the traditional. And traditional characters take a long time to write. And when you have to write each one about 20 times, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let me count that again, though. So now you gotta write each one 32 times. No wonder it takes forever. So yeah, but we even write our name in Chinese, and the name I was given in the class, and I like it. It's Du De Gun. So yeah, that's my name in the Chinese class. And besides that, that's not even the only homework we get. We get a lot of kind of, I guess you could say, random worksheets. Let's see if I can find a couple. Here we go. Like this one. It says, translate the following sentences into Chinese. He is my Chinese literature professor. So I had to translate that into Chinese. Is that an engineering book? French literature is not very difficult, but there is a lot of homework. You like 法文水不很难，可是功课很多. So, and I'd have to write it out in Chinese characters and everything. And then, here's another one too. He gives you like 3 phrases. I mean, they're just plain phrases. Like this one says, 这是中文书. This is a Chinese book. Or 这是什么? What is this? 这是什么书? What is this book? So he'll give you 3 questions or 3 sentences, and you have to turn them into questions by making them more complicated. And like in Chinese, like you could get a sentence that says, "This is black," and in Chinese, if you want to turn that into a question, like "Is this black?" all you gotta say is this, or you say "This is black ma." You just add a ma to the end of the sentence. Or if you want to say like, "What is this?" you'd say "This is what." So you just say "This is," which is 这是, and then 什么, which is what. So 这是什么? 这是我的英文书. This is my English book. So yeah, we're supposed to kind of do random grammar exercises like that. And I'll show you our midterm test that we did. I'll show you some of it, just so you get an idea what the class is like. We had sentences completely in Chinese, and we'd have to fill in the blanks with Chinese characters. We also did a lot of exercises where he would speak like a conversation, and we'd have to answer questions related to that conversation. And then there's some other ones like, let's see. Write a paragraph to introduce yourself. It has to be at least 10 sentences. And you have to use the following words. So you had a bunch of words you had to use. Like 难, 叫, 谁, 是, 这, 忙, 多, 说, 和, 会. So you had to write an introduction using certain specific characters. So I have an introduction that I have handwritten on the back, all in Chinese. 你好，你姓杜，叫德根，我是美国人，我说美语和德文，可是我会说一点儿中文。我是大学生，我学中文。中文课不太难，可是功课很多，我忙。So yeah, that's part of it. But yeah, I mean, so the class, like I'd say the test, probably the most, well, I'll just say the hardest part about Chinese, learning Chinese in general, is Chinese has a hard script. And the hardest part is being able to memorize how to write characters. I mean, like I showed you those packets, we have to write the same character 32 times. Even if I read it 32 times, got all my homework done and everything, still later on, like let's say a month later, I might forget a character completely. I might have the general gist of it in my head, and if I saw it, I knew what it was immediately, and I could reproduce it if I saw it. But like, just drawing it from memory without anything to go off of, I tend to forget characters quite easy, and it's really annoying. Chinese is like, it's like easy to speak. I think, you know, once you get the tones down and once you get the pronunciation down, it's not that hard to speak and have a conversation, but just remembering how to write it, not even read it. I can read it pretty good, but just writing it is really tough to remember all the characters exactly, precisely how they're supposed to be. But man, that's definitely the hardest part about Chinese. It's like you constantly have to be writing to, remember how to write. Otherwise, Chinese is a really awesome language, and I'm having lots of fun with it. It's just the dang writing is difficult. But I'd never forget like the spoken word version, of the language. And I think a lot of that comes from, I type all the time in Chinese, like on the internet. So I rarely write it except for, homework. Because, I'm not really interested in learning how to write Chinese, because it's not like I'm going to be writing a whole bunch of Chinese letters anytime soon or anything like that. I'm more interested in reading and being able to, have conversations with people in Chinese. Like, if I go to a Chinese restaurant, there's one that I like to go to in the Twin Cities where you go there and I'm probably the only white person in the whole restaurant. And I like to chat up with people, that's lots of fun. So I like Chinese. It's cool. And one of the reasons why I chose Chinese to learn is just because of how different than English it is. It's, I guess, one of the hardest languages to learn if your native language is English, just because it's so incredibly different. But it's fun, and it's, a really poetic kind of style language, and it's really nice sounding. And, I can understand why the Chinese are so proud of their amazing civilization and their language. Because, you look at English, and English is a language that's only been around for, like, not very long in world history. So, modern English really started around the time of Shakespeare. And after that, that's English as we speak it now would really be understandable. Anything before that would be not even intelligible to an English speaker. It's not a language that's been around for a very long time. It all happened with the invasion of England, the Anglo-Saxons, that whole type of junk. I already have a video on history of the English language. But Chinese is such an old language. And, China's been united for a long time. And all their characters used to be pictograms. They used to actually be physical, like pictures, like hieroglyphs. And then over time, as people were writing them just to make them easier to write, they changed into something that doesn't really look like it's supposed to be, like Zhong, this character, means central. And you have Wan, that means literature. Their characters, each individual character means something, and even if you put them together, like Zhongwen, then it means Chinese is the language, the written language. And Chinese is really cool that way. It's been around for a long time, it has a long history, and it's very different than English because it has very different origins and all that kind of stuff. But it's just such a fun language. So, if you've ever thought about learning Chinese, definitely go for it and definitely start learning it because it's pretty cool. I did sign up for another semester of Chinese, so I do have it next semester. So I'll probably make more videos later on about it. What I kind of want to do, my Chinese teacher is a polyglot. Yeah, 他说中文、韩语和日文. Yeah, he speaks Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. So, yeah, he speaks 3 languages other than English, and he was originally born in Wisconsin, which is the state right next to where I live, right next to Minnesota. So, he's a white American, and the funny thing though is he dresses just like he's Chinese. He swore he came from China. He's got like stereotypical kind of like round glasses that you see like in the old Chinese movies kind of here in America, and he just wears stereotypical, I guess, Chinese clothes. So at least every time to class he does. Maybe he doesn't his regular days at home or something, but yeah, so it's a pretty cool language, and I'll definitely tell you more. Hopefully I can get a video of my Chinese professor speaking Chinese, Korean, and Japanese, and I'll post it on YouTube for you guys if he's willing. So yeah, I guess that's all.